Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? We are going to be doing a cream liquid stick blush declutter, basically everything that is not powder. And as you can see, I love cream blushes. I'm just gonna let y'all know this is probably going to be the least ruthless declutter you have ever witnessed. There's so many here that I'm already like, absolutely not, I'm not getting rid of. So maybe this will be more of just an enjoy my blush collection type video, kind of similar to concealer, even though I did end up getting rid of a few things in that video, but I really love cream blush, as you can tell. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start decluttering. So we've got 22 liquid blushes here, and this I think is going to be pretty easy in terms of going through everything, but there's not really a whole bunch that I want to get rid of here. So first I have the e.l.f. liquid blushes. I'm not going to try and read the names for you because you guys, I don't know why e.l.f. does their names so tiny. They're super hard to read, but I'm really enjoying these. They're very pigmented. They look beautiful on the skin. They're affordable. I've got like two beautiful pink shades, two like more nude, kind of peachy-esque tones. So I'm happy with these. They're new to my collection, so these are gonna be staying with me. And then I also have these 4 Bodyography color cassettes here, which these are technically made to work for the lips and the cheeks, but I don't like them on the lips. They are beautiful. I feel like I'm still testing them, still figuring out how I feel exactly. These are also pretty new to my collection, so I am going to be holding on to those. Maybe in the future I could see just keeping 1 or 2 shades or like keeping my favorites, but I'm still testing them out. Okay, so those are the ones that are pretty brand spanking new to my collection. So out of what we have here, things I've had around for a little bit, we'll just go ahead and start off by pulling out my favorites. So I really love both of these Glossier Cloud Paints. I have the shade Wisp and the shade Soar, and these are both really beautiful colors. You've got like a beautiful soft purple, a beautiful pink, like just my perfect vibe. So I'm gonna hold on to those. And I also like, in terms of like purpley blushes, I love this bubbly one from Flower Beauty. I'm like trying to decide how much I should swatch because I don't love the idea of swatching liquid as much for some reason. These are not all going to be easy to swatch, but I'll just kind of throw it on right there. Like that's Wisp. She is stunning. And then we'll do Soar. Just like a really beautiful hot pink. Another beauty. Oh, and I got it. Oh, and that's what I was afraid of. Flower Beauty Bubbly is like a really soft kind of pinky mauve shade. It's got some purple undertones for sure. Here's what she looks like. This is such a good one, like super affordable. You can pretty much find it at whatever drugstore and looks stunning on the cheeks. I also really love NARS Afterglow. I feel like between this and the Flower Beauty, you don't necessarily need both. But this one is also really pretty. It's a little bit more satiny, a little bit more sheer. If you're into that, this one's a little bit more buildable. You can see it's a slightly thinner formula, but I love Afterglow, so that is staying with me. And then I have this Milani Cheek Kiss blush in the shade Pink Flirt, and you can see from the packaging, like it looks like it's gonna be a cute pink. Like I feel like it's kind of giving that vibe, but it's actually very orangey. Like it is a coral 100%. So as soon as I started using this, I was kind of disappointed because it wasn't exactly the shade I wanted. I'm not obsessed with the formula or anything, so I think that one is a pretty easy declutter. I also have this blush here from Pixi, which is their Sheer Cheek Gel, and it's in the shade Flushed. This is a really cool one because it kind of looks like blood, and it just gives like a really beautiful, like soft kind of red look. Like that swatch isn't even that fair because it ends up coming out pretty sheer. This is a really cool one. I think it's fun. I'm happy having it in my collection. I don't really have anything else too similar to that. And then let's see, I've got some blushes kind of going astray over here. I've got the Danessa Myricks Vision blush in the shade Ballet Slippers, which I want to say is kind of like a peachy tone, pretty pigmented, nice blush. I bought this years ago. Again, this is one that you can use on your lips as well. I don't mind it per se on the lips, but I definitely don't reach for it on the lips. I just use it for blush. It's like a nice nude brownie pinky shade. I think I'm gonna hold on to it. I don't have anything against it, so yeah. I also have this Euphoria blush, which is in the shade Chemical Reaction, and this is one of those blushes that comes off clear but then it turns pink. Again, you can use it on your lips, and I do like this one. I feel like it doesn't layer the best, so it's more practical for just no makeup kind of days, like just adding a touch of pink on your cheeks. But I like it. It's fun. It's from a cool brand, and it's not that old to my collection. I have the Liquid Flush from Monica Blender Beauty, and I did receive this in PR. It's the shade Munchin, and this is a really, really beautiful soft nude. Like such a pretty soft pink. It just has like really muted tones. I love this one. A really, really good natural blush. So keeping that. I've got two blushes here from Rare Beauty, and I feel like I did have more of these minis. They might just be escaping me. I also gave some to my little sister. So this one is the shade Joy, and I want to say this is more like a peachy shade. Yeah. She's cute. I'll keep her. She's a little mini, like, not mad at it. And then I also have Happy, which was not the shade I wanted it to be necessarily, like from the website. I thought this was going to be like a super true cool pink. And it is a pretty pink still nonetheless. Like, it's not a bad color. I just thought it was going to be a little bit brighter. But I mean, looking at everything else I have, I feel like as far as liquid blushes go, this does look nice. And I don't know. I'm going to keep it. I also have a Natasha Denona blush here. This is in the shade, I can't find the shade on this. This is their Puff Paint. I think this is the lightest one. And it's kind of like a peachy pinky tone. I'm not like the biggest fan of this blush. It's definitely more on the sheer side. It's more buildable. Like, I feel like if you like pigmented blushes, you will not like this. But I feel like it's a pretty color, and I do have really fair skin. So sometimes I am wanting to reach for a blush that's not that pigmented. Like, it really just depends on the day and my mood. And again, I don't necessarily have something against it. So I don't know. I already warned you guys. This is not going to be ruthless. So you kept watching. You cannot be mad at me, okay? And then I have two cheek dews here from ColourPop, which I purchased because of makeup just for fun. And I honestly kind of forgot to use these a ton. I have So Cosmo, and it looks like the color is separating. I don't really know. Like, is that a sign that it's gone bad? It kind of looks a little funky. And I did sit here for a second and like try to mix it a little bit, but it didn't really, so I don't know if that's bad. But we have Kiss Kiss here, which is a really pretty like true nudie brown, which is definitely different in my collection. I feel like I've used these some, but they are just more like serum-y, like very, very liquidy. I guess that's not a bad thing. It's just that it's not normally what I go for, but I am going to keep it because the shade is unique for me. And I feel like I should definitely give it more of a chance. Like, I've only used it a little bit. Should use it more. So I'm going to keep it. Yeah. Only 2 declutters so far. So that's fine. Let's start doing stick blushes. There you have it. There's all my stick blushes. Obviously this is, oh, I got pink blush right there. This is not the type of product I buy a ton of. I've got a Milk one here in the shade Work. I really want one of their pink ones. Like, they have really pretty pink ones. This one, I don't know, it's a little bit drier. It's a little bit more like a neutral, soft shade. It looks really pretty. I feel like I should reach for it more, but I haven't. So I think I'm going to put that one into my maybe category. I've got the Huda Beauty. This is like the Proud pink. Yes, I love this pink. It's got a little bit of a golden undertone to it, but it's super cute. Not an undertone, sorry, like a golden shift. Love her. She's definitely a favorite, definitely staying. I've got this shade from ColourPop, which is in the shade Mini Me, which is a nice cool toned pink. Like, look how pretty. I feel like I don't reach for these as much because I don't like applying them, but I think I just need to be better at using my brush and like getting my brush into the product and then I'll probably reach for them more. I've been doing that more and more lately. And then I also have the shade, where are you? This is the shade Skater Boys. Literally obsessed with the name. It looks like it's gonna be like a really deep burgundy, right? But then it's just kind of like a soft mauve. There she is. She's glowy, she's pretty. I'm sorry. She's staying with me. So there's a good look at all the swatches so far. I am gonna wipe that off real quick and then we can do cream blushes. Okay, y'all, so here is obviously not all my cream blushes. It's just 2 brands. I've got my Finding Ferdinand. I've got my Melt blushes. I've done full collection videos on both of these, and it's because they are my 2 favorite cream blush formulas. Finding Ferdinand is my top favorite, obsessed. I love the formulas so, so much. And then Melt I also love. I know you can't see the shades as much, but I have a full video swatching and showing you how every single one of these looks all together. Actually, oh, that's a highlight. How'd that get there? Long story short, y'all, none of these are going. I'm sorry to disappoint. These are my favorites. I love having the full collection. The Melt blushes are definitely better for somebody who loves more warm tones and like more typical traditional blushes. The Finding Ferdinand has way more cool, like unique shades, but still they're staying with me. Okay, so here is all of my other cream blushes, which is obviously a little bit of a smaller collection than all of the Finding Ferdinand and Melt blushes. I actually do have another one from Kosas. I have the Velvet Melon here, and then I also have their like 8th Muse one, but I'm not sure where I put it. But I would not be getting rid of these either way. I really love these little duos. The other one I have is more pinky. I heard that these were discontinued, and I don't understand why, because they're beautiful. But that is going to be staying with me. You know what's something easy to let go of? I have this Undone Beauty Lip to Cheek Palette 315 Bubbly. I thought this was cool. I guess it's the same shade and it has like a light intensity, medium intensity, high intensity, all the same shade, but I kind of just ended up like mixing it together. And it looks like a really pretty hot pink, but I just feel like it's just like a little bit too thick. Like I hate when pigment like is like unmovable. Like you see, like I applied it and now like blending it out, it's not the most blendable blush ever. And I just never find myself reaching for this. I have so many other pinks I like more. So I'm going to get rid of that. And it's actually the only thing I've ever tried from Undone Beauty, but I just wasn't impressed. Okay, I also have a blush here from LYS. This is in the shade Kindness. I love the name. It's a really beautiful peachy shade. Here's what she looks like. She's really pretty. I love her. Keeping, not my favorite formula, but still a good one for sure. And then let's see, I've got something from Truffle Cosmetics here. It's a cheek souffle in the shade Squiffle? Souffle. Souffle, that's not a Q. Okay, so this is like a cream, but do you see that? It is so thick. Very pigmented. I mean, that looks pretty. But the texture, like I just don't like my cream blushes to be that thick. So that's going to be a declutter. I also have 2 blushes from Paul & Joe here. And I do really enjoy these. We've got the shade 02 and 04. And I used to love them more because I feel like they were very unique. Like this like soft pinky shade. It's also like this like bubbly, really wet feeling blush. You can see it's a little bit more on the sheer side. But it's also kind of old. But I have so many pink cream blushes now that these are not standing out the way that they used to. Like I said, they are older. Oh, they feel so satisfying for some reason. They just feel so liquidy. There's what they look like, but because of their age, I am going to be getting rid of these, even though I did really, really enjoy them. Then I've got some blushes here from Ofra, and this one right here called Heart Eyes. I love the name of. It's like a really beautiful hot pink. I've used it some. I like it. I'll show you what it looks like. Swatched right there. Kind of similar to the Undone Beauty one, but I'm going to keep this one because I reach for it all the time. And then we've got Devoted. which is like an orangey-esque burnt shade, but I feel like it's giving fall. Like, it's super pretty. And then I also have the All Yours shade, which I actually have not used this one yet. I don't know how, because I've used the other two quite a bit, but this is like a really pretty red, and I love a good like well, I mean, it's a little bit more muted. I thought it was going to be a little bit deeper. I do like it. Okay, I'm going to put that on my maybe because I haven't really played with it yet. The swatch looks pretty. I'm just going to try and get some use out of that. I have the Tower 28 blush in the shade Golden Hour, which I do love the name of, especially because it, for some reason, makes me think of Harry Styles. But it is another like really thick formula. I feel like I keep this one less like for use and more for comparison's sake, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people talk about this. It's at Sephora, so I've kept it to compare, but I feel like I know how I feel about it. It's not a favorite. So I think I'm gonna let it go. I also have 4 different blushes here from Sigma. So this is Quarter Rosa, right? Which is such a pretty neutral. And then we've got Nearly Wild. I honestly have only used Quarter Rosa out of this. I've got Coral Dawn and Pashima. So there's what they look like. I did receive those in PR on a trip, and I feel like Quarter Rosa is definitely my favorite. It's like that really pretty neutral, but I like the formula. I don't know if you can see the way like my finger just goes through it. Like, it's warm, it's thinner, like it's easy to blend out. So I feel like I don't want to get rid of these because I still want to give them a chance. Like, look at that. Like, it just, that's my kind of cream blush formula, even though I can't put it down. Nearly Wild. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. I wish they had one that was like a little bit more pinky. I mean, that's like kind of like a soft pink, but I feel like I could go for something even cooler. Ugh, but I like them. I really do. So I'm gonna keep giving those a go. I definitely like the way they feel more than the Ofra. And then I've got my 2 Rare Beauty Nearly blushes. I've got Nearly Rose and Nearly Neutral. These are definitely 2 of my absolute favorites. They're definitely more like sheer, buildable, like not super intense blushes, but I love them. They're very creamy. It's kind of a little bit too much fun just playing with all these textures right now, but there's what they look like swatched. Definitely my 2 vibes. I also have these 2 ColourPop blushes here. I've got Prenup, which I do really like. It's like this beautiful kind of like mauve-y, pinky shade. Looks like it has like a slight satin glow to it. And then I have this one, which I also bought because of Makeup for Fun. It's Makeup Just for Fun, authority. It's called Chiffon, and it's like this orangey pinkish highlighter shade, and it is really pretty. But I feel like for me and for my skin tone, it's just like a little bit too much on my cheeks. Like, it's like doing a lot, and it's very orangey on me. I think it's a beautiful product, just not necessarily like the best for my skin tone. So I'm gonna keep this one and declutter this one. I've got a blush from e.l.f. here. This is the, oh, again with the names, e.l.f. I'm looking at you. This is a really pretty pink blush. Got this from Ulta last year, another bright pink. It's a little bit lighter than the Ofra, but I'm gonna hold on to it. And then I've got, this is the Kaja Bossy Cheek Stamp. I got this because it has like the little heart and it's so cute. I don't use it nearly as much as I should. But like, come on. Oh, okay, maybe a little more. Okay, so the heart, not really doing the whole heart thing, but I think it's really cute and I can't let it go. And lastly, I have these Ritual Defeat blushes here, and I feel like I mentioned in my concealer video that I don't reach for these a ton because I kind of forget what's in here because all the packaging looks the same. So we've got the shade Moon Pillar, which is kind of like a blush highlighter, but I have it here because it's got like this like purple mauviness to it. It's also like a bit of a thick formula. So there's what she looks like. I mean, I guess technically maybe a highlighter, but we've got Bee Sting, which is like a really pretty kind of reddy shade. That one's a little bit not so thick. That's a really pretty shade. We've got Halo, which again, I think is a luminizer, but it's like that pinky golden tone. very, very thick. I don't know. I feel like that's why I don't reach for these two. I don't really go for super thick products. Look how intense that gold shift is. It does look really, really pretty though. And then lastly, we've got Desire, which is like a deeper mauve tone, but again, kind of thick. Like you really have to warm it up with your fingers, but it looks really pretty. Like it's definitely a gorgeous, cool toned purple, neutral type shade. So I think what I'm gonna do with these is Bee Sting is doing it for me. So I'm gonna keep that. And then the other three that I have here, I'm gonna put into my maybe pile, and I'm gonna try to do my best to reach into these more in the future, and I will come back and let you know if I'm gonna keep it or not. Okay, there you have it. There is my 5 maybes. All right, y'all, prepare to be unsatisfied. There is my 8 declutters out of everything I showed you, but I kind of had a feeling that this section of my collection was going to be like this. Okay, and there is my 64 cream blushes. I might have a problem, but I feel like this is my first round of decluttering on camera ever, and this was the best I could do. But maybe in the future we'll return to this and we'll see if I can part ways with some other things. But for now, like, yes, I know it's a lot. It's not as cute and curated, but I hope y'all enjoy this declutter, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.